Hello YouTube. The other week, probably a couple of weeks ago, one of the guys at work decided that he was going to order himself a new box cutter knife because he'd lost his Gerber EAB whilst tracking across a field. He decided he was going to buy one of these originally. He'd seen one on eBay and asked me if it was any good or not, so I took this one along in for him to take a look at. But he decided that he wasn't up to sharpening blades all that often, you know, because he didn't really know how to do it, and it was a pain in the arse for him as well. So he decided to take a look on Aliexpress, where he found this little WorkPro Box Cutter, which is very similar to his Gerber EAB. The offer on Aliexpress was a pack of 3 of these for around about £10, I think it was. So he asked me whether I would like one, and one of the other guys in the workshop whether they would like one too. And he went ahead and put the order in. You can see how nice and shiny this thing is. Look, you can see my camera. Huh. Yeah, so he went ahead and put the order in. As you can see, it is quite similar to his EAB that he lost. Let's take a closer look at it, shall we, guys? Here we have the business end with the Stanley style blade at the front here, the little carrier for it. It's quite nicely made because it's got Torx screws here. It does actually feel quite good quality, to be honest with you. It is actually a frame lock, as you can see, with a little ball bearing detent just here. Lockup is quite reasonable, I think. There's the WorkPro moniker just there. It is folded over at the back here, so I dare say you could possibly maybe get a little ring or something in there. It would have to be a very small one though. It's folded over at the top. There's quite a nice pocket clip going on just here, and there are no other markings at all. So how do we get the blade out of this little fellow then? You push up here like that, and hopefully it's a bit stiff, guys. There we go, and that's how you change the blade out. Interestingly enough, when we were looking at these when they first came in, we got some Stanley blades, and they do actually look like these WorkPros have a specific blade they take, like their own size blade, because for some reason or other these look a bit bigger. But when you actually look at it properly, here we are, they are exactly the same size. It's just some sort of strange illusion that we had in the workshop that day. Okay then, so let's take a look at a few dimensions then. Closed length is 76.4 millimeters. The depth, when it's closed across here, you're looking at 35 millimeters. Width, excluding the pocket clip, is 7.2 millimeters. Including the pocket clip, you're looking, and this little pivot screw here, you're looking at 12.6 millimeters. The open length then is 133.5 millimeters. What does it weigh? 1 ounce and 3/4, or 52 grams. Okay, so this is actually quite well made for the £3 that I paid for it, because as I say, he bought 3 for around about £10, I think it was, probably a little over £10. As I say, we've got a little frame lock here, which is not too difficult to disengage. The retention is very good on it. Lock up is quite nice. Getting the blade out isn't too bad. As you can see, replacement is very easy indeed. Just very carefully push it in and it locks into place quite securely. It's a little bit of rattling there, but not a lot. It's basically quite secure. And we have, if you look through a little hole just here, you'll actually see there's a little stop to stop the blade going in too far. Hopefully you can see the blade moving about there, up to the stop and away again. As you can see, it's made from very highly polished stainless steel. Fit and finish isn't bad at all. The quality of the thing's not bad either. It does look a bit like a EAB, a Gerber EAB, a little bit I suppose when you look at it. Obviously not quite the same quality, but all the same, it's not bad. I mean, it's quite comfortable to hold. There is just this, I've just discovered this little corner here sticking into my hand as I'm holding it like that there. Reverse grip, well, I mean, for box cutting I don't think so, but it's okay. It's okay. I suppose what we ought to be doing is finding out just how good the stock blade is that comes with it. I mean, as I say, I've got a proper Stanley blade here, so we could try that as well, but let's just find out how good the blade that comes with it is. We'll get the bitzer bag in then. And here is Bob the bitzer bag. We've got this diagram here again, guys, so let's try and slice it. Is it any good? Is this blade going to be any good for slicing paper, do you think? Well, actually, no. It's not all that good, actually. Let me just swap it out for the Stanley blade and we'll find out the difference. Right, that's the Stanley blade in. Get the sheet of paper back. So there is a proper Stanley blade then. Pop the original blade back in again. As I say, it won't, it's not even making an attempt to cut the paper, to be honest with you guys, so we'll get rid of that for a minute. Bearing in mind that it's a box cutter, here's some cardboard then. Let's try the, oh, it's got some packaging tape on the other side, so that's handy. Let's, yeah, it can cut boxes. Just about, guys, but not, yeah, it can just about cut boxes. So chuck that over there for a minute, and then we'll dive in and get some cheapy rope. We've got a few strands of cheapy rope here. Let's get the blade in there. Yeah, it's done it, but it's kind of sliding over the top of it all. So what about heavy duty package strapping, as it's a box cutter? Let's see if we can cut that. Oh, it's cut that nicely. In fact, it's taking the corner off that quite nicely. Right, let's have a look, fold him over. So for something that won't cut paper, it's doing a pretty good job of the package strapping. Let's try Mule the Tapeworm. Thank you very much, Trader Joe, for sending this in. It'll be interesting to see, because I've found that knives that are not all that sharp will actually slide over this stuff and not cut it. So look, and that's more or less what this is doing. I can feel it sliding across the top of it. Yeah, it's just sliding across the top of it, guys. What I'm going to do is swap out for the Stanley blade, the proper Stanley blade. We'll get a bit more Mule the Tapeworm going and see if a proper Stanley blade will slip over it. Get him in there, right in. It's actually cut it properly, look, because it's a nice sharp blade. It's not sliding over the top of the tapeworm. Obviously, because it's a little short blade, it's not done a particularly 100% cut, but it's done it all the same, guys. Pop the original blade back in again, and what we'll do now is we'll get the chopping block in. Right, we'll have to go with the corner of this, I think, corner of the chopping block, guys, because this funny little blade's not going to, oh yeah, it's not exactly pinging the cheapy rope about. What about the Mule the Tapeworm? Let's give that a go. Yeah, it's actually just sliding over the top of it. So I can do that so you guys can see it without chopping myself up, but it's just sliding over the top. It's trying to cut it, but it's not doing a very good job at all, as I'm sure you can see there. Right then, so what about speaker style cable, which I'd forgot to chop up anyway. So let's get some of that in there. Can it chop through that? This is the standard blade that comes with it. Yeah, it can chop through that. And the 32020 heavier, much heavy duty cable, or much heavier duty cable. Yep. What about slicing it up then? Yeah, it's finding it very easy to do that, guys. It's a very thin blade is what it is, I think you'll find. Right in, pipe, There's some pipe here, guys. Can we ping the pipe about? It's flattened it. It is pinging it to a degree, but not very successfully though. Oh, there it goes a bit. Okay then, so the original blade is alright for some tasks and not others. But then again, as I say, it's just more or less a box cutter really. So, you know, chopping things like paper might not be of great importance to you. Getting into boxes will most certainly be. So for that, I would say it's okay, and it's quite comfortable to use. I didn't really feel this little corner here while I was chopping stuff up either, so that's interesting. It does actually fold down quite nicely, as you can see here. It's quite well made, so it's okay. As he brought it into me on Thursday, I did actually have 2 knives with me, so at one point on Thursday I was actually carrying 2 knives like this. Okay then, a bit of a tale of 2 different knives then, guys. As I say, he did actually originally look to buy one of these, but then decided it'd be too much hassle to sharpen the blade, and then he decided he was going to buy 3 of these from Aliexpress. They come as a set of 3, and actually I've got to say it's not too bad, to be honest with you. I'll try and find the page he bought it from, and I'll leave you a link down below on Aliexpress if you like the knife and you want 3 of them. Go for it. As I say, they will actually accept standard Stanley blades, so you know you've got a plentiful supply of new blades if you want them. There's no worrying about sharpening anything. Just swap out the blade very easily and chuck the old one away very carefully, guys. Dispose of them very carefully, because they can still do some damage even when they're blunt. If you chuck them in a bin and somebody goes diving into that bin without thinking, as they should do, you know, could there be any sharp stuff in the bin, especially at work? I've seen it done myself years ago. Some guy went diving into a bin to retrieve the rubbish rather than tipping it out, and he received a rather nasty gash to his hand because there was one of these in there. So do be careful how you dispose of old blades, guys. So, an interesting little replacement for a lost Gerber EAB. Quite possibly not the same quality as the Gerber, but all the same, quite a nice little knife, I think, for the £3 that I'm going to pay for it tomorrow. Take the money in for him tomorrow. Yeah, it's not bad actually. I quite like it, to be honest with you. So what I'll do is I'll put you a link in the descriptive text below to Aliexpress and these 3 knives here, if you'd like to purchase one, 3 of them even. This one I purchased from GearBest. I can't remember what it's called. I'll dig it. It's also available in black as well, to be honest with you, and I'll put you some links down below in the descriptive text to it if you want to take a look at this one on GearBest. So, not a bad replacement then. This one's okay, it seems to be alright. I haven't heard the guy at work complaining about his yet. It cuts stuff up alright. I think you might have to get a bit better blade, because this one doesn't appear to be all that sharp as we've seen. But other than that, it's not a bad little blade. Quite nice as well. It's, you know, reasonably well made. Yeah, quite like it. Alright then, guys. Thanks for watching, thanks for coming over. Don't forget you can subscribe to the channel, especially if you're new. Don't forget to ring the little bell for notifications of new videos. You can click like if you enjoyed the review, and you can share it with your friends because they might have lost a Gerber EAB as well. You can follow me on Instagram. There's also my Patreon page if you wish to support the channel in that way. You can also support the channel via my special GearBest link in the descriptive text below. Go along, click on that, purchase whatever you like, and I'll get a small commission that all gets ploughed back into my channel to bring you more interesting kit. Alright then, guys, thanks for watching, thanks for popping over, and I'll see you again some other time then. Laters!